Hello, my name is Rick Eilenberger, and I work as a sales engineer for Res Software in the United States. And today I'd like to take a few moments to talk about the management of user profiles within the network. More importantly, those differences between policy technology and the value creation that Res PowerFuse offers for Microsoft platform instances, Windows 2000 above, that exist within the network today. The delivery of profile environments is really predicated on the technology stack associated with the user and the user experience that is entered into, or the workspace that the user will ultimately acquire as they log on and authenticate into the network environment. A policy stack is predicated on an operating system and a hardware instance, so I will have separate policy environments for a Windows 2000 laptop versus a Windows Vista laptop versus a Windows XP laptop. And what we see here on the left is a traditional technology stack associated with the delivery of user interface in the context of the Microsoft product offering. This is pretty straightforward stuff. A hardware instance, laptop, terminal server, workstation, operating system, installed applications. As we move through the stacks, this is where we reference the terminal server explicitly, and I can see that my complexity is mounted. As I continue to move down the environment, I will now reference the virtualized approach to operating system delivery, both with regard to the hypervisor of Microsoft as well as the operating system context of VMware ES6 Server. And the final thing to present itself on the screen are virtualized applications, which we know are growing as a application delivery platform within the enterprise. Now, what I put to you is that what this screen represents is a policy container for each instance of a platform and hardware instance that exists within the enterprise. As I stated earlier, I'm going to have a separate policy container, separate GPOs, separate OUs that define Windows 2000 from Windows XP, and I will have further separation that defines Windows 2000 laptops from Windows 2000 workstations, Windows XP laptops from Windows XP workstations, and for each combination of platform and hardware device, I will have another iteration, a separate iteration of my policy approach to delivering the vital and necessary configuration items for the user workspace and experience within the network. Res PowerFuse has offered and is offering today the next generation in profile workspace management within the context of the Microsoft network, in that our architecture is database driven. All configurations that are required for the user, as well as every application service that the user will be exposed to and have access to via security control, access control, will be delivered from a single management console for all operating system and all hardware instances within the network. The net effect here is that the user workspace, the environment to which the users enter each day to experience the service offering within the network, is now completely decoupled from underlying complexity associated with operating system and hardware instance within the network. Now, what I'm going to do is take a moment at this point to reference the user and the value creation that PowerFuse offers with regard to global visibility of the user within the context I have defined. Every operating system platform instance across every hardware device to which the user has access within the network. Let's take a look at that. As we know today, policy technology offers us the users and computer environment, and this is a tool that we might use as professionals to define configuration items, access to applications, access to exposed services within the network. This is straightforward stuff. I have a user account within the network. I can see the member. I can see what groups to which this user is appended. There's not a tremendous amount of information here. I may very well go from this screen to a group policy management console and run a GP MC GP result for this particular user on a specific platform hardware instance within the network. But this approach, GP result for an individual platform instance and the individual user associated with that instance, is no longer adequate. That GP result does not give me the vital and necessary information about all of the application services that are resident on platforms that are not referenced in the GP result model. And what we've done at PowerFuse to combat this is shown here. If I look to the same user in the context of my database-driven technology, I can see every application that the user will access across every platform instance, operating system, every hardware instance, laptop, workstation, terminal server. I can even see this is a virtual application delivered via SoftGrid. Global visibility for the user. As I look further in, as an example, I can see every registry setting to which the user will ever have access on the network for every platform instance, every device instance within the network to which the user has access. If I come down a bit further, another item of note that the database-driven technology offers us, this is a correlated event log. So when the user logs onto a laptop, launches application services from differing Citrix silos, a Citrix silo that's running 2000, 2003, 2008 in Delaware, launches something from a VDI context on something that exists as resident in ESX or a hypervisor context, receives something from a published desktop, receives something from a streamed, provisioned operating system. Every service to which the user has access in the current mode of the workspace or in the experience of the time spent during that logon is collated into a single event log so that I can see everything. Global visibility to the user, all configurations, and all services the user accesses throughout the entirety of the session space. And, of course, the database-driven technology offers us the wonderful advantage of taking the immediate assessment of given per user session. If you're interested to know more in the differences and the value creation of database-driven technology with regard to policy and overall user workspace management of the network versus that of the antiquated approach to policy and logon technology, information traversing the network from the core to the edge, as opposed to the database-driven architecture of vital and necessary information available at the edge always, please take the time to contact Res Software, both in the United States and Europe. Further information can be found at www.ressoftware.com. Thank you for your time.